initial damage estimates from Hurricane Melissa are already in, and it's not what you would think. Also, there is another threat in the Western Caribbean as we go into the early part or middle part of November. I'll go over Hurricane Melissa and upcoming threats in this video. It's ABF Cyclone Thursday, October 20th, 2025. Hurricane Melissa currently has 105 mile an hour sustained winds. So since I did my last video, I tried to upload a video yesterday, however it wouldn't process. But this one hopefully should process, and hopefully you're watching this right now. It made landfall in Jamaica with 185 mile an hour sustained winds, tied with the 1935 Labor Day hurricane as the strongest landfall in the history of the Atlantic Basin. So it's so far been an insane storm. Then as it exited Jamaica, it almost instantly started to reorganize, and then it briefly re-strengthened into a Category 4 storm before weakening and making landfall in southeastern Cuba, Santiago de Cuba getting the worst of the storm, and then it quickly weakened after that. And then the system has struggled to reorganize. It struggled to reorganize yesterday after taking a beating from Jamaica and Cuba. Jamaica and Cuba both have mountains, pretty high mountains. At least this part of Cuba, this is where the highest mountains are, southeastern Cuba. That's right where the storm made landfall, so it disrupted the low-level circulation. And yesterday, the storm was just absolutely a mess. But then it got its act together again and then started re-strengthening a little bit. Now it's 105, but I do not expect it to re-strengthen or keep intensifying because it is over mid to upper 70-degree waters, which is too cold for a tropical cyclone to intensify, and it can barely maintain a tropical cyclone. Hurricane warning in effect for Bermuda. Could experience hurricane force winds or hurricane gusts tonight. Conditions are rapidly deteriorating. And then northeast Canada, that will be, it should dissipate right as it's passing by. And then you could expect hurricane force winds, at least gusts, as it passes by. So very dangerous, very rough surf. And then it is probably creating very dangerous rip currents, rough surf, and coastal erosion along the east coast of the United States. And again, I don't expect any more strengthening out of this. And then conditions rapidly deteriorating in Bermuda. The Google AI model for the rest of the system, some of their parts show it making a landfall in Canada as a extratropical system, but they don't show any more strengthening. And then as we go later into November, I don't know if the Google AI model shows this. They do not, but other forecast models are starting to indicate at the potential of a system developing by the time we get to early or middle of November. The GFS model, starting with that model, they show it developing north of Honduras and then going toward Cuba, making landfall as maybe a tropical storm. But then if you look at it here, it looks really disorganized. It looks maybe a little organized here, but mostly disorganized. The European forecast model shows this system quickly developing and quickly dissipating. I think it's November 12th that they really show it having any sort of circulation. So around here is when they show it maybe being a tropical depression or a tropical storm. If this does become a tropical storm, it will get the name Nestor, which would be our 14th storm this season, and then it would make it an average season. But in terms of intensity of storms, this season has been way above average. Melissa is the third Category 5 of this season. This season has had the second most Category 5 hurricanes of any season. Records go back to 1851. They are pretty unreliable until we get to the 60s, early 70s. And then the fatalities are already, unfortunately, at 45. And then $8 billion is the initial damage estimate. That's crazy because this is not a U.S. storm. U.S. storms are usually the ones that cause billions of dollars in damage. And then an $8 billion could take about a week to get out, for it to get that high. But this is an international storm, and it's already 8 billion. It's been, what, 2 days since it's made landfall? Yeah, 2 days since it made landfall. And some estimates show it going upwards of $50 billion. So this storm is most likely going to get retired, and I will try and get a documentary out by May. The videos out of Jamaica are just devastating to see. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and see ya.